everyone. Thank you for joining me for Storytime. I am your Storytime reader, Miss Nikki. Today's read aloud is titled 111 Trees. How one village celebrates the birth of every girl. This is a true story, so this is a non-fiction book. To give you a context of what the story is about, I will read the preface of the book. So a preface is most often found in non-fiction books, and it gives the reader some background information of what the book is about. Let us begin. Preface. Not too long ago, a village in India was ruled by ancient customs. There, the birth of a boy was celebrated with the beating of pots and pans and the sharing of sweets. A son was a blessing from the gods, someone who would carry on the family name and take care of aging parents. The birth of a girl was welcomed with silence. A daughter was a burden, someone who would cost parents a dowry, which is money given to the groom's family when she got married, and who would become the property of her husband. But today, things are different in that village. Today, one girl is equals to 111 trees. This story is true, and it started with a boy named Sundar. 111 Trees, How One Village Celebrates the Birth of Every Girl, by Rina Singh and Marianne Ferrer. Sundar watches how his mother balances the water pot on her head. Walking to the well with her every day in the blistering heat is hard, but it's his favorite thing to do. It's the only time he has her all to himself. On the way back, they stop under some trees, and she asks him to collect pieces of firewood for cooking. He sees her smile at him through her veil. At night, Sundar feels his mother's wet cheeks as she hushes him and his two hungry sisters to sleep. Their mud house is too small for his family of 11. One night, Sundar's mother is bitten by a poisonous snake. In the morning, she doesn't wake up. The villagers come to the door, wail loudly, and take her away. And just like that, his mother is gone. After this, whenever Sundar sees women walking to the well, he runs to wrap his arms around a tree, pretending to hug his mother. Years pass. Sundar grows up, marries, and becomes a father. He has 2 daughters and a son, and he and his wife raise them with equal love and joy. As his children grow, he teaches them the names of trees and birds. He shows them how their lives depend on the natural world. He guides them to embrace all forms of life. Sundar works as a laborer in the marble factory not far from his village. The process of mining the marble strips the soil, dumps waste into the land, and leaves the landscape dry and barren, making any kind of farming difficult. He asks the factory owners to plant trees to make up for the harm they are doing to the countryside, but they refuse. Sundar begins to fear for the future well-being of his village. He is so angry that he leaves his job. Sundar brims with ideas to make life better for the people of his village. He wants no one to live in fear of hunger. He wants all children, boys and girls, to go to school and not spend their childhoods working the fields or fetching water. He wants to heal the land ravaged by irresponsible mining. He dreams of planting trees. He runs in the election to become Sarpanch, the village head, and he wins. 1 year later, his older daughter dies after a brief illness. Sundar is heartbroken. He shuts himself in a room and cries for 12 days. On the 13th day, he comes out and plants some saplings, bearing his grief into the earth. Sundar imagines the saplings growing into magnificent trees that will live for hundreds of years, and with them will live the memory of his daughter. All of a sudden, Sundar knows what he has to do. Every girl born in the village will be welcomed with the planting of 111 trees. Sundar shares his idea with the men and women of the village. The villagers think Sundar has lost his mind. They reject his plan. It's against their tradition to honor girls. They argue. They are afraid the world will laugh at them. They don't understand this new way of thinking. But Sundar keeps talking to the villagers. He shows them how the factory is slowly destroying the land. He tells them of other nations where girls and boys are treated equally, where there is plenty of water and electricity and enough wealth and knowledge to go to the moon. He even offers to plant the trees in the girls' names himself if the villagers promise to send their daughters to school and wait to marry them off until they turn 18. Slowly, very slowly, the villagers begin to understand that by welcoming girls and planting trees, they might bring balance back to nature. They worry about the water the trees will need, but Sundar has a plan for that too. He brings in engineers from the city, and the villagers learn how to harvest rain by digging trenches to store water. Water that can also be used for drinking. When termites infect some of the trees, the women grow aloe vera plants to cure them. Soon the men see that women no longer have to walk for hours to fetch water. The women see that their children are no longer hungry. The trees are making life better for everyone. The villagers begin to place their trust in Sundar, and every time a girl is born, the villagers plant 111 trees. The trees and the girls grow up together. Mothers and daughters take care of the trees. At the end of every summer, girls tie sacred threads around the trunks to renew their bonds with them. The village prospers and the trees continue to grow. Today, mango, papaya, neem, shesham, and amla trees line the roads and cascade down the hillsides. There is enough water for everyone in the village. Girls go to school and learn along with the boys. And to this day, every time one girl is born, 111 trees are planted. The end. At the end of this book, readers can learn more about Sundar and his amazing plan. The book also explains why 111 trees, gender inequality, how Sundar became an eco-feminist, and how you too can become an eco-feminist. I hope you enjoyed this inspiring story. Until next time, take care.